was just going to start by asking you a question about Guingai National Park and what you do here and what your job is, and would you like to sort of tell us a little bit about your work?
I'm one of the Aboriginal Discovery Rangers with National Parks and Wildlife Services. I'm regional based, so this is one of many national parks and reserves that I work in within the Metropolitan North East region. We do a lot of schools, so from early childhood through primary, secondary and of course tertiary. Right. Overseas and international students and visitors visit the park. We do public walks and talks and tours in here. Been working here probably for the last 5 or 6 years.
Right. So what do you like about the park?
The bush.
The bush, yeah.
Nature itself,
yeah.
The animals, coming out here and listen to all the birds chirp and sing, see the native animals walking around, enjoying the sun, the artwork, the Aboriginal sites, very spiritual, very strong in connection to the land here. Many different sites we can visit.
Oh, yeah. So, can you tell us a little bit more about that connection to the land? What does that mean for you, the connection to the land?
Oh, I think it's important, being a spiritual person and having that connection to the land with the spirits enabling me to walk upon the land here and feeling safe as a part of my home, more or less. So it makes you feel more relaxed and enjoy it. We're only half an hour, 3/4 out of the city, and all of a sudden you're in pristine bushland and nature and national parks. It's the plants, all the different plants throughout the year, and the seasons and the cycles. Seeing those plants nurture, especially after the fire burns we've had in here, the lightning strikes, seeing that bushland regenerate and seeing those new plants come back alive. Seeing the new animals getting about, especially around the breeding time and the birthing of the new animals getting around, especially when you see the little goannas running around, the baby goannas and the little brush turkeys. That's what brings a big smile on my face, because as we know, we've lost a plant and animal nearly every year since Europeans arrived here. We'll never get those animals and plants back. Those plants and animals were part of Aboriginal culture and learning and survival with the animals, being part of our totem system and respecting and looking after those animals. Each person had a different animal to look after, so that animal wasn't being harmed or being endangered in any way.
So you kind of sort of answered it already in a way, that just how the park and what exists here makes you happy. Are you able to say a little bit more about that? Kind of, how does it actually make you happy? What kind of...
Makes me happy inside.
Because
each time I come over it's different. Today's sunny. I've been up here when it's pouring down raining. But you still get that good positive energy within you. And seeing the different seasons and how they affect the park. Especially when the wildflowers are coming out. In that spring season, the rain, even the heat when you're up here, it can be very hot, but you feel good about it. So all those little positive things makes my job a lot happier and makes me feel good inside, especially when you bring the younger kids out here as a part of their education and curriculum of today, learning about Aboriginal society and customs, to bring them out here and let them connect with the land as well, and seeing the expressions on their faces when they're describing stuff. So that connection to the land, it's the seasons you talk about and the changes that go on from one year to the next. Is that what that connection to the land actually means? That gives me a lot of meaning, because being a chef, especially with the fruits and that, I get all excited when those new fruits are coming in, and you've only got a window span of a couple of weeks of those fruiting, so you've got to get out and collect as much as you can in that time. And I love eating food, so
as we all do.
when you can get out in the bush and not have to pay for it,
yeah.
and also you can't buy a lot of these food sources in the shops. So when you see them out in nature and surviving and producing so much, it gives you a good feeling inside as well.
Right.
When I leave Sydney and head back home, especially if I've had a bad week at work and I head home and I cross that border back into my own country, all those worries go away.
Right.
I get home, I'm home, I feel good, I eat a lot more, I have fun, and then the week or the weekend finishes and you've got to head back north, back into Sydney, and once you hit that boundary again, that whole body feeling, sensation changes.
Right. Is that distance that does that for you, or is it something else?
I think it could be distance, and it could be a bit of homesickness as well, Neil. So, so feeling that change, and having that change when you're moving from country to country.
Or is it moving back into the known, or more into the known, or something? You know that place, and you know everything.
Yeah, going
back
into the past and knowing everything that's there, who's there, where's there.
Yeah. So you must know that area better. Your knowledge there must be more.
Oh yeah, well that's all your learning was done when you were little back down the coast, and we're learning all the time, which is the thing. We don't stop learning, as you know, we're learning all the time, and learning the new things that are up here. I think that makes you feel good inside too, and being able to pass those things on to not only your students but other students, and especially the young Aboriginal students. And the young Aboriginal kids that are part of those mentoring programs. Bringing them back out onto the country, you can see the changes in them as well. The young men and young women from the inner city, and how much they're enjoying coming out instead of being stuck in that concrete jungle of the city.
Yeah, sure. So there were 4 or 5 Aboriginal students in that group, and Rebecca's one of them. Tall Rebecca. Yeah, she commented on that. She goes, and one of the other students asked the last time we were at the uni, how did you know you were Aboriginal? Neil tell her, and she's gone, no. We just pick it up. We know who's who. And so we had a bit of a giggle when we were sitting up there having lunch. So it was and I forgot to give her that wattle seed too. So connections. So would you say that your connection to country is yours? It's you and country, isn't it? That you're from, is it?
You and yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So would you say your connection to you and country is different to your connection here, or are they the same thing?
Very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar, but not as strong up here than what it is when I'm back home.
Right. Okay.
But it's getting stronger up here.
Yeah.
Every day it's getting stronger.
Yeah.
Every day, and I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it, and I'm loving it more because it's making me feel like I'm back at home again. I'm a coastal person. The landscape's very similar as well. A lot of the fruits and food sources are very similar. So I still have that little bit of connection that helps me get through missing home.
Okay. So what would be the difference between a person who's coastal, who sees them like yourself, you see yourself as coastal, and someone who's from the river country, for example? Do you know? It's probably an impossible question to ask.
Impossible, but I might be able to answer it. Well, their lifestyle's a bit different to ours. For them to survive, they had to move around a lot more. Whereas we're lucky here, we don't have to move around as much as what they had to for their food sources. So I think we're lucky in a way. But I suppose they're lucky in a way because it makes them bigger and stronger.
And having to really hunt out the sources of food and so forth. I think that's about it, actually. I've sort of done it to my. Because I just wanted to talk about your connection to country and what that connection meant, and we got there very quickly. So.
No, I'm enjoying my work. I love my work, and that's the most important thing: educating non-Indigenous people as well as those young Indigenous kids that have been disconnected from the culture, from the country. You find a lot of the young ones, especially in the inner city. Some are from in the inner city, but a lot of them are not from the city. Have come in from the country, and it's hard for them to reconnect, and especially the young ones, and the problems they have in there. and to be able to bring them out into the park and reconnect
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
culture, with
Yeah.
the land.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier. Couldn't
Yeah.
be happier.
Yeah,
It's a
okay.
marvellous program
Yeah.
that we were fortunate enough to get granting for,
Right,
to work
okay.
with the Metropolitan,
So it's done through the
Metropolitan
Land
Local
Council.
Aboriginal Land Council
Right,
and the
okay.
and the Tribal Warrior
Right.
Mentoring Association.
Right. Okay.
So
Yeah.
they've played a
Yeah.
big part in helping those young kids out.
Yeah. Okay.
that have been in
Yeah.
a lot of strife and
Right.
troubles in the
Yeah.
inner
Okay.
city.
Yeah. Okay.
And the kids, the young adults, you can see the changes each time they come out.
Yeah.
How much
Yeah.
more respect they have, not only to themselves,
Yeah.
but to
Yeah.
us, the workers that are taking them out as well.
Yeah. 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 It's a great initiative, I think. Yeah.